I thought I would do a quick informative video about what the names are of certain parts of the tank, some of the history involved, where those names came from, the meanings, all that kind of stuff, and even talk a little bit about what an actual tank is. Last time when Luka on his channel, he built up an AFV, an armored fighting vehicle, and he was calling it a tank, and people were correcting him because it's technically not a tank. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about that too. So this is just going to be a quick, short little video just about parts.
Huh. So I was wrong? Hey, how's my fellow car modelers doing? I'm just watching Andy over here at Andy's Hobby headquarters. And yeah, so I'm calling my Bradley not a tank. I shouldn't be calling it a tank. But this looks like this is going to be a very informative video from Andy. So I'm going to go ahead and watch this, and then I'll get learned-fied on about tanks. And then when we come right back, we're going to get into the real important models. Model cars. Yeah.
So the tank,
that's something.
Let's get started.
Yeah, let's get started. Why not? Yeah, silly guy.
Strips and then pieces holding it all together. And that is why it's called a gun barrel.
Well,
well, there you go, guys.
That's something.
You guys got a little information / trivia out of this video.
Thank you.
I know there's going to be a lot of you out there that already know a lot about all this stuff, but trust me, there's lots and lots of people in the world who don't know about it.
I don't know anything about it, obviously.
A little taste into
obviously,
and letting them know what some of the terminology is. So if you enjoyed this video,
I did. Thank you.
I hope that you would go ahead and click that subscribe button down.
Did it already?
Down there.
You should do it too.
Thank you guys as always for watching, and please stay tuned because we have many more videos.
Many more to come. Well, I got mine to work on, so we're done here. Well, there you go. I have been learnified about tanks. That this is not a tank. This is something else than a tank. My cold coffee was in the way of it. Like I said, it's not a done tank or AFB or AF, whatever. Still got the wing to put on. But you know what? We're going to be getting back to model cars for a while. And I got a few other things I want to talk to you guys about. So we've been working on the Malibu flip nose, and I want to take a little break from that. We played with the Bradley here. I'm not going to, I never can remember what they're called, so I won't call it a tank anymore. I don't want to disturb or upset anybody. But I just want to show you a few things I've been kind of working on. I've showed you some model kits that I've bought lately, like all those Skylines and everything, and kind of what's been churning in my head. But lately, you know, I haven't been doing some videos. I am sorry about that, and I'm going to explain in a little bit. But I have gotten in here to have some me time with some model building, some tinkering around with ideas. And as you see right here, what I got going is a couple things are happening. I've been working on the Volvo, and that's coming along really good. And I kind of last night got in here and started playing with my Datsun pickup again. Now that I picked up that one Skyline for the engine, I also found that the wheels and tires, maybe even the suspension or stuff, kind of playing around with it last night. I got a little mock-up going here, and I want to show you guys what I'm doing. So let's take a look at it real quick, okay? Alright, so here we are with it. I'm got the frame here, and you can see I had tape on here because I had it mocked up in there when I was messing with the wheels and tires that you see kind of mocked up right here. And I'm going to show you what those are here real quick. I'm going to have to do some modifications to the frame and get it narrowed and stuff, and I haven't decided on the rear suspension yet. I had to get the frame out of there in order to get the tire to fit in there so I can get this stance and mock-up. And what do you think so far? Got that slammed look. That's about the level I want it, and the wheels and tires that I got. I'm going to take the camera and give you a little show around here. It's kind of awkward. I got it propped up on, you know, tires and stuff underneath. It's not sitting perfectly straight and level, but you get the idea of the direction I'm going to go. Maybe if I kind of change things around here. You can see that's about where I want the wheels and tires to sit. Same here. I don't know if you can see how those tires are, but it's a little difficult to get the thing perfectly level, but I can see where I'm going with this. And I've got tires that are just perfect. The width and everything. I don't know if you can see that around there. You see the width of these tires. And I'm going to show you where I got these wheels and tires from if you guys don't recognize that, you Nissan aficionados. But let's lift this up. As you can see, the wheels and tires came from the Tamiya donor kit of the Nissan Skyline GTR that had the engine in there. So, you know, it has a nice great set of wheels and tires in total Tamiya fashion as usual. Just beautiful wheels and tires. I figured that's perfect. I'm even thinking of possibly going with a lot of the suspension and stuff out of that car because, again, that kit was strictly bought for parts for this model, for this project. So I'm getting kind of fired up on this, and you know, we'll play around with it. Another really keen thing that I'm doing here is, like I was playing with on this, of getting these wheels up in there, these wheels and tires to fit in this really nice. I'm also thinking I might need to go with a fender flare and bring the track out a bit. So I discovered something really cool looking around for fender flares. I think I'm going to come up with a fender flare that I don't know, I think I want to try to produce it. In other words, kind of copy it, something I can show you guys. Maybe either I'm going to vacuum form it or resin cast it as a fender flare that can be reused on other models. So let me show you this real quick. So I found this old Southern stock car body from these earlier kits that came out probably like back in the 80s of cars that ran in the NASCAR Grand National Circuit. These were put out by MPC. It was kind of like a revamping of their older kits from the 70s, so they really weren't that accurate. They had a pretty decent look, and it was before those awesome monogram kits came out. They kind of came out and crushed MPC in doing their NASCARs. And the one thing that was always really cool about these and these bodies is, you see, check out this flare on the front fender. It's just kind of bulbous, bubbly, bulbous one. And I've got a few of these kits. I don't know if any of you younger builders remember these kits, but they had some pretty decent parts. And, you know, again, they're not really great to build, but if you ever see them, they got really neat parts. And you can do some pretty cool, like, you know, lower level late model cars with them or whatever. I've done a few things with them, but again, it's these flares that I was interested. So I had another one. As you can see, I chopped the front off, but this was just another one of those bodies. You can see that bulbous flare right there on the rear, but that's a little bit too big for what I want. So I found this other body in my junkyard, and I went ahead and chopped off the whole front there, as you can see, and check this out. I retrieved the flare. I'm kind of working it and fixing it, and I'm going to take these flares and then I'm going to cut the flares off of this body, so I have all four to use this flare, even though they're the front flares on the Monte Carlo body here. I believe they will give me that shape I need for the Datsun. And let me show you real quick, as I kind of referenced them on here. That's the, as you can see right there, I wrote right front. So let's do this. This is the right front, and I was just thinking of kind of getting it up there. As you can see, let's see, let's get it. It fits the shape of the wheel well. It's the look I want, and if you can really tell here, it's going to give me that flaring that I want. Just a little bit more of a wider track, that I can get this wider tire to look a lot more correct and just give this car the stance that it's going to need. This is going to be hard, just trying to hold these things together. I hope you can get the drift that I'm getting, but I can stick it out a little farther and have that fender flare. And you take what I have here is the left front, but I take the left front one, fits good on the right rear, and vice versa. That is my direction with that. I've got my fender flares. I haven't decided how I want to do those yet. I might shape them and then do some work to make them look like they bolt on more the Japanese style, or do I do what I always like, of molded on fender flares that are more like what we always did in America with stock car racing, Trans Am and all that stuff, and just have it molded in. I think I'm leaning a little more towards that Japanese look, because that's the kind of the angle I'm going with this, using the Nissan Skyline and the wheels and all that stuff. So I may try to do little bolts, you know, indentation for the bolts and all that stuff. But either way, I'm thinking I might make these fender flares, and I'll show you later how they turn out, and I may make some molds and resin cast them so I have them for later projects, because you know, you come up with something really neat that you know can be generic and fit on just about anything, that it's nice to be able to reuse what you create. I'll be showing you guys in an upcoming episode of all the benefits of learning how to resin cast, make molds and stuff. Or another direction is also vacuum forming. I thought about vacuum forming, but this is stuff that I will cover later on. So here we are with the Volvo, and you can see I've got a lot of the suspension done since I showed it to you in that one video a few back. I got some of the front here done, and this whole plate all covered with some bare metal foil aluminum. It kind of has a good look about it. But I don't have it glued in yet, so I can pop this off, I think. Let's pop it off. So much for things working out. It won't pop off. I didn't glue it on there, but it won't pop off. But you can see up in there the engine. I showed that in the past video on this. But I got the exhaust all mounted in and detail painted. Everything's all finished there, just with some metallizers like I showed how I brush painted that all on. And the rear suspension I'm working on, and I've got the front spindles all done with some little bit of detail work to make the coil overs look as realistic as possible. I love how Tamiya does their springs and stuff on their kits. They define the springs so well. It's so easy to do some simple detail painting and you have a really good looking spring. And I don't know if you can see it, but I did the shock inside there, or strut, kind of like in a gold, kind of giving it more of like a performance piece instead of a stock knuckle and strut. And with metallizers and some paint detail, I've got the disc brakes done for the front suspension. And I'm going to be putting the front suspension all together here shortly. And then we'll move on to the rear suspension. So that's how far I've gotten. Not a whole bunch, but getting a little farther with that model. I'm looking forward to continuing on with it. I'm going to stay focused on this one, get it done, and I think I'm going to move on to that Datsun next. So I will keep you guys informed, and that's what I've been doing, and that's where I'm at with that. So there you guys have it with what I got going on my bench. Been working a little bit, having a little bit of time. I also am putting this video out kind of going in a little bit of a different direction than what I have. This is kind of a video I hate the idea of making, but just a little bit of an update on some things that are going on and why you haven't seen any videos from me lately. I've had a change at my job that was really not for the best for me to have time to do my video. Not getting into that, and I'm hoping maybe I can make a change here soon to get back to making videos, but it has cut in drastically into my video production, so I'm going to have to take a little step back for a while, and I'm going to put out videos when I can, but you're just not going to see what I have been doing in the past. I'm going to be back, and you guys stick around, and you know, you'll see me on some of Andy's videos, and we've got a few plans with that, but my time has been taken up quite a bit with the job and recovering from the work that I do, because my schedule is all over the place on a 24-hour clock, and it doesn't, you know, I could be working a morning, and then I could be working an overnight, and then I could be working an evening, afternoon shift, and it can all happen through the week, and then having a day off and day off. But I'm not going to get you into that and bore you with what's going on in my life in that regard. Let's just say that the job is taking away from giving you guys the content that you deserve. Another subject that's kind of stalling the progress of the channel is a little bit of, I'm going to be doing maybe a little complaining. Again, this isn't the type of video I really want to put out. I like to keep my videos positive, but I just want to let you guys know what's going on. As you guys know, and from your help, I so appreciate what you all have done for me and how you've been hitting that like button, subscribing, being a part of this, and enjoying the content that I put out. And with that, a while ago, I reached my mark to be able to get monetization onto my channel, which is really important to us YouTubers. I do this for a passion. That's why you're going to keep on seeing videos from me, but I'd like to be able to put more video content out for you, and the only way I can is to possibly be able to try to make some sort of a, not maybe a living, maybe a living off of doing this. It's what I'd like to do, and I've got some other plans that I would branch off with this channel that I've started. But YouTube is kind of been dancing and playing a lot of games, and there's tons of us who have met the requirements, and we're all still stuck in this queue that nobody's getting monetized. There's people up to 6 months and they haven't been monetized. And it is important to us to get that, to help us continue to do content. A video like this, on my average 10 minutes, some of my videos are 20 minutes, and I want to have entertaining content. That takes a lot of time. I can be working up to 10 hours on one video that's 10 or 15 minutes long. It's an incredible amount of time that I have been taking away from my schedule, other things, and as you all know, and you've all congratulated, I've got a grandbaby on the way. Other things with family. I've left my little Fox bodies just sitting in the garage in pieces. I haven't touched that because I wanted to concentrate on the videos things. I got to admit, it took a little bit of the winds out of my sails that YouTube is doing this to us. I understand why they are, and they've got to be careful what is being put on their platform, but they're really crushing the little guys trying to make it. You know, there's going to be no more days of the big, you know, PewDiePies or stuff like that. That's why there's some big, like Hot Rod Magazine, for instance. They went off and started their own channel because there's just nothing here at YouTube anymore. That's why you don't see their shows on YouTube anymore. So until there's somewhere else for us to go, this is where we're stuck, and we're at the mercy of YouTube. You know, I hate to make it about money. You know, time is money. I want to put out this content, but I need to be able to survive in order to put more time into the content and get away from having to have a job that takes every bit of my time away, that I can't do the content anymore that you guys have been enjoying. So, you know, I've started a Patreon account. I've got it listed below. I'm trying to get t-shirts going. I have a Spreadshirt account with a couple t-shirts. There's been a few sold off of that. So you guys can get Scully into your wardrobe. And I've got some really cool shirts I'm coming out with. I'm going to shortly be leaving Spreadshirt. I'm not really too crazy about their new platform. It's kind of limited, and I can't make some really cool shirts for you guys. That I found another company called Teespring. And again, I'm putting the link down below for Teespring, and I've got some new shirts on there that I'm kind of going to be transferring everything, eventually shutting down the Spreadshirt account. And I think you're going to really like those shirts. I got a really cool one coming out that says fellow car modeler on the side with Scully there, and on the back it has this, you know, the Model Car Hobby Headquarters with Scully on there. So I'm going to get some cool shirts, and I'm thinking about, you know, I'm going to have to do a coffee cup too to hold my cold coffee. And I've got a few other great ideas I don't want to announce yet that I'm going to be providing to you model car builders out there, and little side businesses that I'm kind of getting started. And hopefully what this will eventually have happen when I get my monetization, and with the help from you guys, and you guys buying shirts and doing whatever you can to keep me on this channel, I can step away from that time-sucking job that I have and start devoting a little more to getting this content out to you and building more models, and maybe getting a business going that has to do with model cars and stuff like that. Provide more content and more things for you guys to help you enjoy your hobby. It's something I want to do. It's something that I'd like to do for a living, and with your help, hopefully you guys have liked me enough to want to help me out to do this so that I'm there for you. Who knows what can happen. I've got a lot of things in the plans, but the gears are going slow. So with that, I have to cut down on making the content, and I am going to at least try to get a couple of videos out a month. So stay with me. Keep on liking and subscribing if you haven't, and watch all my videos. Press that like button on them all. Keep giving me ideas and keep making comments. I do read them all. Get on to my Facebook group, Model Car Hobby Headquarters. I also have my Model Car Hobby page on Facebook. All this other stuff happening. You get on there. You guys can share everything you got, what you're working on your bench. You can throw questions at me or say, hey, Luka, check this out. What do you think? And I do. I look at it all, and I try to acknowledge everybody. It's getting bigger and bigger, and that gets tougher. But believe me, trust me, you guys, I see everything you guys write to me, and I appreciate it. 99.9% of the stuff has been really positive, and some of the negative stuff is even some positiveness comes out maybe, or maybe I just, ignore you. With that being said, thanks a ton for watching. Like and subscribe. Look at the stuff down there, and I got a whole bunch of links there for you to check out of my friends and family that have YouTube stuff going on, and I've got my Patreon account down there, and I've got my Teespring account down there for you to buy shirts, and more things coming along with that. So I want you guys to keep on gluing your fingers together, keep on cutting that styrene. This is me, Luka C. We'll see you in the next video. Is we're kind of not going to mess with the Chevelle. We're not going to mess with the what else have we been working on? We've been working on the Chevelle. I can't remember. Let's do this again. So, okay. So we've been working on the Chevelle. Here's another. So I had this other one.